First, what is exactly the fermentation? Fermentation is a natural process that has been used for thousands of years by humans to produce a variety of food and beverages. It includes the use of microorganisms such as yeast and bacteria, and the process of the fermentation is to turn sugar and other carbohydrate into organic acid, alcohol, and gases. So next, I will explain about the type of fermentation. So there is 3 types of fermentation. First, it is called lactic acid fermentation. This process convert sugar into the lactic acid, and the agent used to convert the sugar into the lactic acid is called bacteria such as lactobacillus. And this fermentation process mostly used in the production of yogurt and kimchi. So the second type of fermentation is called alcoholic fermentation. This process convert the sugar into the ethanol and carbon dioxide, and the agent used for convert the sugar into the ethanol and carbon dioxide is yeast. So basically, this process mostly used in production of beer, wine, and bread. So, from the 2 yearly of type of fermentation, which is the lactic acid fermentation and alcoholic fermentation, they both doesn't need the oxygen to do the process of fermentation. But the third type of fermentation need oxygen to process the fermentation. It is called acetic acid fermentation. So this process has 2 steps, which is first, it turn from sugar into the alcohol and turn from the alcohol into the vinegar. So the agent used in this process is acetic acid bacteria such as acetobacteria, and the product is the vinegar or kombucha.
Next, what is tapai? Tapai is a popular Asian cuisine that usually found in Southeast Asia such as Malaysia and Indonesia. It is commonly eaten as a snack or dessert during festive season and special occasion. Tapai is made through the fermentation process using glutinous rice or cassava or other starchy food. It is fermented using starter culture called ragi. Tapai has the taste of sweet and tangy flavor with milk acidic taste. It exhibits sweet and sour aroma with texture of soft and tender. Tapai will become slightly juicy because the microorganisms that break down starch into sugars will produce liquid during fermentation process. If tapai is over-fermented, the structure of cassava or rice will become too soft, then the tapai to become mushy. There are 3 common types of tapai, which is tapai white glutinous rice, tapai cassava, and tapai black glutinous rice. Besides that, tapai also has some health benefits. As a fermented food, tapai improves digestion and can make nutrients easier for the body to absorb when it is eaten in moderation. Now, let's take a look about the starter culture of tapai, which is ragi. Ragi is a traditional fermentation agent that widely used in Southeast Asia to make tapai. Ragi is a dry, solid, and white-colored fermentation starter, typically shaped like small, flat, circular biscuits or tablets. Ragi consists of a mixture of microorganisms such as Amylomyces rosea, Rhizopus oryzae, and Candida species, and also flour. Ragi acts as a starter for fermenting carbohydrates into sugars and alcohol. So, before we start to know how to make tapai, let's understand how does the fermentation occur. First, the tapai will undergo the process of hydrolysis, where the carbohydrate is broken down into glucose by amylase enzyme of microorganism. After that, 2 types of fermentation will occur, which is lactic acid fermentation and alcoholic fermentation. During lactic acid fermentation, lactic acid bacteria will convert the glucose into the pyruvate through the glycolysis process. Then, the pyruvate is directly reduced into either lactic acid only or lactic acid with organic acid. During alcoholic fermentation, similarly, the microorganism will convert the glucose into pyruvate through glycolysis. After that, the pyruvate will be converted into acetaldehyde through decarboxylation and further reduced into ethanol.
Now I will tell you about why we choose the combination of black glutinous rice tapai with yogurt and chia seed as our fermentation product. First, black glutinous rice tapai is a traditional fermented food that is produced through a natural fermentation process. During fermentation, microorganisms such as yeast and lactic acid bacteria will break down the starch into a simpler sugar and produce lactic acid. This process will lower the pH concentration inside the tapai, making it taste sweet and slightly sour. Other than that, tapai also has several health benefits as it is rich in anthocyanins, which are natural antioxidants that help protect our body against oxidative stress and inflammation. It also helps improve digestion because it contains microorganisms that help balance gut microflora, and it can provide quick energy for our body as there is the presence of simple sugar formed during the fermentation. Next, we added yogurt to the tapai because it contained probiotics such as beneficial bacteria, which is lactobacillus. When combining yogurt with tapai, these probiotics will work together and improve our digestive health, and at the same time improve our nutrient absorption in our body. Yogurt also help reduce the strong alcoholic taste in tapai, making the texture creamier so that it is more appealing for consumers to try it. Lastly, we added chia seeds because they contain dietary fiber, omega-3 fatty acids and antioxidants, which promote digestive health, heart health, and prolonged satiety. When chia seeds are mixed with tapai and yogurt, they will absorb the liquid and form a natural gel. This will improve the texture of the tapai, making it thicker and smoother. This will also help consumer to enjoy the texture of tapai more. This combination not only balances the flavor but also creates a more nutritious and probiotic-rich fermented dessert with enhanced health benefits.
Okay, next I will share about the preparation of TAPAICHIA. First, I will talk about the ingredients of tapai. Firstly, you need to prepare 4 cups of glutinous rice, 2 cups of black glutinous rice, half cube of dry yeast or ragi, and a quarter tablespoon of sugar. Now, I will talk about the preparation steps. Firstly, tapai preparation process. Prepare 4 cups of glutinous rice and 2 cups of black glutinous rice. Wash them separately, then drain it using stainless steel food colander. After that, steam water in steamer until it boils. Okay, next I will talk about the steaming process. Firstly, for the glutinous rice, put it on the plastic steamer plate which has been lined with baking paper. Steam the glutinous rice for 3 hours. Don't forget to check your glutinous rice each hour with plastic fork to ensure it well cooked. Please do not use any metal apparatus to avoid any adverse effect during fermentation process. After 3 hours, remove the glutinous rice from steamer and let it cool. Now, for the black glutinous rice, steam water in steamer until it boils. Then, put the black glutinous rice on the plastic steamer plate which has been lined with baking paper and steam it for 1 hour and a half. And after 1 hour and a half, remove the black glutinous rice from steamer and let it cool. Next, for the mixing step, after both glutinous rice and black glutinous rice cool, mix them together in plastic container before divide them into 2 different plastic containers. This is because we want to make 2 types of tapai, with and without sugar.
So, I will talk about the next step, which is compressing and adding ragi and sugar into both containers. First, we need to compress the glutinous rice using baking paper to reduce the air pockets and create anaerobic environment for the yeast and lactic acid bacteria ferment in favorable condition. Next, crush half a cube of ragi and sprinkle half of them into the first container and the other on the second container. The ragi needs to be sprinkled evenly so that the tapai has balanced sweetness and mild acidity. Next, sprinkle a quarter of tablespoon of sugar into the second container. This steps is needed for the sensory test. After both ragi and sugar spread evenly, we need to close the container tightly so the anaerobic condition stays and fermentation happens. Next, we will let it ferment for 2 days outside of refrigerator because the yeast and bacteria in ragi ferment best at room temperature. Usually, after 2 days, the fermentation is nearly completed. So, we will move to the next step, which is refrigerate for 1 night to slow down the fermentation progression. So, why do we need to slow down the fermentation? It is to prevent the over-fermentation where tapai can be too sour and the alcohol content may rise. After 1 night of refrigeration, we will divide the tapai into small containers for the sensory test. The small containers that has tapai without sugar will have a dot label on the cover. After finish dividing into the small containers, we will put a yogurt mixed with chia seeds. This is the innovative steps we choose for the project. This will increase the probiotic content in the tapai and enhance the flavor so that the slight tangy taste of tapai can be covered for those who don't like to consume tapai.
So, in conclusion, fermentation process has a lot of benefit, including in production of food. From our product, fermentation of gelatinous rice, we can get that fermentation improve the texture, aroma, taste, and the value of our product. It also improves the benefit of gelatinous rice by improved digestion, boost immunity, and enhance nutrient absorption by introducing beneficial probiotic, which is the live bacteria, into the diet. The innovation provided into the fermented product also can be a big potential to enter the market.